Do you know what is a brokerage account? Do you know the different types of brokerage accounts and what are the perks of each one? In this video, we're going to go over the different types of brokerage accounts and the perks of each one. Let's get into it. Welcome to Piece of the Pie with Ty. I'm Ty, and I appreciate you guys coming to check out my channel. My channel is all about making sure people are aware of the different avenues that are out here to get a piece of the pie. If you like any of the content in this video, please hit that like button. It really helps me out with people finding the video just like you did. Subscribe to the page and share the content if you think this video could help someone. Okay, so everyone has heard of a brokerage account. You know, you have to have a brokerage account to trade. So today we're going to go into what is a brokerage account and the different types of brokerage accounts available to investors. We're going to start off with a standard brokerage account. A standard brokerage account is sometimes called a taxable brokerage account or a non-retirement brokerage account. With these type of accounts, you have access to stocks, bonds, mutual funds, a slew of different type of investments that you can invest into in your brokerage account. In a standard brokerage account, any type of interest, dividends, gains earned on sales from investment will be subject to taxes in the year that you receive that money. In a non-retirement account, you have a choice on how it's owned. So you can have a joint account or an individual account. Of course, an individual account is just one person is responsible for the account. A joint account is multiple people are responsible for their account. Typically, you find this in spouses or groups of investors. When you open a standard brokerage account, typically the broker will ask you if you want a cash account or a margin account. Cash accounts are what I recommend for beginners and the typical investor. Cash accounts allow you to buy investments with the money that you deposit into the account. Margin accounts are typically for advanced traders and investors. Margin accounts allow you to buy investment with borrowed money from the broker. This borrowed money has to be paid back with interest to the broker. So typically, if you're new to stocks, I would recommend you stay away from these margin accounts because they are a quick way to lose money if you're not familiar with how they work. Again, so my new investors, please be wary of margin accounts. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you guys game based on how I see it. So definitely take caution when trading. And if you feel that you need a financial advisor, please seek out one. Let's keep it rolling. To open a brokerage account, you just have to be 18 years old and have a social security number. One of the perks of having a standard brokerage account is that there is no limit on how much you can contribute to your standard brokerage account, and you can pull it out at any time. Just remember, you will have to pay taxes on the money that you earn from selling and withdrawing stocks and earning dividends. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. The next type of account is retirement accounts. A retirement account, such as an IRA, which stands for individual retirement account, it has the same slew of investments that the standard brokerage account has. The only difference is that it is taxed different from a standard brokerage account. The biggest difference between a standard brokerage account and a retirement brokerage account is how it's taxed. The IRS taxes the retirement account slightly different. The most common two types of retirement accounts is your traditional IRA and your Roth IRA. Depending on the type of IRA you choose, you either get an upfront tax break the year you contribute to your account, which is the traditional IRA, or you get a back-end tax break when the money you withdraw is going to be tax-free. And that's what you get in a Roth IRA. To open either of these type of accounts, you have to have earned income or have a spouse with qualified earned income. There are also income contribution limits set upon the Roth IRAs and for deducting contributions to a traditional IRA. Another fact is IRAs have a maximum amount that you can put into the IRA. In 2020 and 2021, the max amount that you can put in an IRA is $6,000. If you were older than 50, it was $7,000. There are also penalties for dipping into IRAs before 59 and a half. So if you do go with one of these types of accounts, if you think that you may need the money that you have put in, go the Roth IRA route because there are less penalty options in case you have to pull out your contribution. Another type of brokerage account is educational accounts. One of the most popular educational accounts is the 529 savings plan. This plan is used to pay for a child's education. Most states have their own 529 plan. It varies from state to state, but typically you can use the money in these plans nationwide. Some brokerages do allow you to open up 529 plan. Another education savings account is the Coverdell Education Savings Account, or for short ESA. And ESA must be set up before the beneficiary reaches 18, just like the 529 plan. The money can be used for elementary, middle school, or college expenses. With these type of plans, anybody can contribute to the plan for the beneficiary, relative or not. And anyone can be named as a beneficiary as long as the money is used for educational purposes. One thing that's good to know about these two different types of educational accounts is that the 529 and the ESAs, they are not tax deductible, but distributions are tax free. The biggest perk from these two types of accounts is that when the beneficiary needs to take the money, it's going to be taken and it's going to be tax free. Another thing to note about these two types of accounts is that they're not typical brokerage accounts where you can invest into stocks. They mainly have mutual fund type investments with target dates. So it's different than going in picking stocks. It's just you're investing and you're investing into a fund. There's going to be several different types of funds, but you're going to invest in one of the funds that they have with a set target date. And of course, those types of funds will have maybe an index fund, maybe bonds, and different types of accounts that's best suited for when that child would need the funds. Lastly, let's talk about that next generation, investment accounts for kids. These types of accounts are called custodial brokerage accounts. A custodial brokerage account is an account set up for a minor with money that is gifted to the child. An adult, the custodian, is in charge of the account and maintains assets and allocations. When the child becomes 18 or 21, depending on the state you live in, these assets are transferred over to the child. There are two different types of custodial accounts. You have a Uniform Gift to Minors Act and you have a Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. The biggest difference between the two is that with the Uniform Transfer to Minors Act, the account can hold real estate as well as securities, stocks, bonds. It also can hold real estate in this account. Something else to note about the Uniform Transfer to Minors Act is that once funds and assets are put into this account, the beneficiary can't be changed. It all just depends on the state you're in. Some states allow uniform gift to minors. Some states allow uniform transfer to minors. Some states offer both. It just depends on which state you live in. One other thing I would like to point out is that, of course, with these two types of custodial accounts, it's different from the educational account because the child can use the money for whatever. You know, the educational account, money can only be used for educational purposes. And I would like to also point out that the educational accounts, you can change the beneficiary on that account at any time. So say for instance, first child didn't use all the money in that fund and then you have another child that's going to college, or one child didn't go to college and you still have that fund, you can change the beneficiary on the educational accounts, not so much of the custodial accounts. And you also can set up custodial IRAs. The only difference from a custodial IRA and a regular custodial account is that the child has to have some type of earned income. This earned income could be from lemonade stand, car washing, mowing lawns, but they have to have some type of earned income to start that account. And again, I would like to point out, if you were to start that for a child, you probably want to go the Roth IRA route, because again, with the Roth IRA, you can pull out your contributions, just not your gains. So that was a quick run through on the different types of brokerage accounts. I know investing is pretty new to a lot of people, and mainly people run to Robinhood, and Robinhood only has one set type of account, which is the individual account. A lot of other people have different types of accounts. For example, Charles Schwab has a slew of all types of accounts, custodial, inheritance accounts. I only touched on the main ones, but there are a whole lot of different accounts. So if you are interested in building wealth for the next generation, them custodial accounts are definitely something to look into, or the educational accounts. Each of these different types of accounts will help you on the path of building wealth for yourself and building the foundation for your legacy or family. So if you like any of the content in this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and come back and see me. And in the description on this video, there's a link to the Facebook group where we discuss everything involving investing. It's a pretty friendly community where you can ask questions, and we would love to have you. I appreciate you guys for checking out my video. Come back and see me. I got plenty more to talk about. Thanks.